You're basically a Code4z developer by now, aren't you?
The good news for our customers is no, I don't write any code. I do a lot of testing and validation.
And you play with all of the extensions.
I play with all the extensions.
In the same way that all of our customers can come and play with them during the Code4z Developer Days,
Exactly.
right? So Code4z Developer Day, April 22nd, Prague, Czech Republic. Register if you haven't, and you'll get to go hands-on with some of the stuff that we're going to talk to Dana about today.
And meet some of the developers that make those changes.
Definitely, and the whole team around the workshop.
Exactly.
Welcome everyone to another episode of What's Up Mainframe. I'm excited to be joined by Dana Boudreau, who is a mentor, great friend, previous manager. He's played so many roles in his career, and wanted to sit down with him and talk through kind of the evolving mainframe landscape and some of the things he's seen in his career. So welcome, Dana.
Hi, Zach. I'm on pins and needles as to what you're going to ask me.
I understand that you're closely affiliated with quite an interesting project right now that's focused on application understanding. And I thought that maybe we could dive into, maybe not the particulars of the project, but more the problem and how application understanding is something that is really key on people's minds these days as AI comes in, all of the agents and whatever else, and also with the improving developer experience for mainframe developers that's out there.
So over the last 7 or 8 years, we've built a really nice solution for a developer to edit, compile, debug, look at vSAM files, but trying to understand products, understand programs, applications that customers have is still a very complicated task. Why? Languages they may not know, very monolithic applications that are not compartmentalized, KICS transactions or IDMS or DB2 thrown in the middle to make it more complicated. Some other ones I've looked at talk about old access methods and modules that have changed access methods, and even run into a couple of people that looked at it and says, what is this?
What? I was one of those people. You explained to me RSAM, right?
RDAM.
RDAM, yeah.
Anyway, that's very complicated, and for new people coming on board, even for people that have been around for a while, if it's a new application, that's complicated. So we're looking at technology that will allow you to analyze complicated products and programs, and what are the interactions, who calls what, if I change this, what are the impact of those changes? Those are cool, really key questions. The challenge with these programs is, what do I click? How many clicks do I have to make? If I click on this, what do I see? And it takes time. Even though the program helps you, you still have to figure out how to navigate the program. Insert generative AI to help you figure out, where do I start?
Yes.
Help you figure out what are the flows I need to look at most importantly, and then drill down. That's another area that we're exploring, because in my opinion, no matter how good the UI is, something that could actually put all the pieces together and give you some insight is much more valuable than starting with a bunch of clicks.
So obviously the application understanding, bringing the AI agents, coming back to what is already available in Code4z. So one of the things is COBOL control flow, which shows the relationship within a COBOL program in kind of a diagram. And you can click through it and it'll take you to parts of the code, albeit in your workspace.
Yes and no.
Of course, there's some complexity to that, yeah.
Well, no, but the sources don't have to all be on your workspace.
That's true.
Actually, it's smart enough to go out to Endeavor, out to the mainframe,
Explorer,
and pull in some dependencies.
Exactly.
This is why I said yes and no.
No, definitely. But that is a much smaller context. And what we're talking about with the kind of application understanding you've mentioned is, there can be separate modules, different types, DB2, you have your database side of things, and then you have KICS transactions, etc. And we're talking about diagrams, yes, but hopefully more information respective of the modules as well.
Yeah. Control flow gives you context of the piece of source you're looking at. Incredible for that particular module, but who calls that module? Who does it call? Does it trigger a Kix transaction that might start a whole different flow? Does it read a DB2 database or a vSAM database? Those are all things that are outside the scope of CCF and our current tools, where the other technology we're looking at steps in and solves those problems.
Yeah, but of course, the AI agents will be quite important probably, because I can imagine diagrams or some visualization of a complex monolithic application is going to just be daunting to someone looking at it.
Our experiments show that AI is pretty intelligent at breaking that down and giving choices. In fact, they can draw diagrams.
Okay.
Today, those diagrams are static in that they don't have hyperlinks in them to jump to other places. But that's only a matter of time before that problem gets addressed, and we'll integrate it all with AI.
And fully be able to jump around.
And jump around and drill deeper and jump back. And
you mentioned an interesting part, because in an episode quite a while ago we talked about the Endeavor MCP server. So obviously, as having that capability to have that information also inform whatever this tooling is doing fully bolsters the experience for the user.
Well, Endeavor is integrated in the whole thing. The technology to analyze a program requires a database. That database has to be populated with sources. We've got that integrated with Endeavor. When I open the source out of the tool, that source needs access to copybooks and things like that, because that's where the variables are defined. Those are in Endeavor. We go find them in Endeavor. So it's integrated on the front end, it's integrated in the process, it's integrated at the back end, and it's all part of the story, the solution we're offering.
Oh, that's fantastic. So that's something we're working on, and we'll eventually be getting to our validation community so that people can give it a try. We always like to talk about what we're working on. It's quite exciting. Working on this application understanding aspect to fully, supplement the Code4z experience that we have is a really exciting thing. I know you've worked in the space of developer experience for quite some time. I was just curious kind of the big steps you've seen and how we got into VS Code and Code4z and what it really offers, not just end users, but our customers as well.
Yeah, I got involved back working for IBM on a product called WSED at the time, now called IDZ. But before that, every IDE, every development environment was specific to the language. And with Eclipse, it was the first time you could have a common development environment that could support all kinds of languages. And IDZ added Mainframe to the list of things like Java, which it supported. With VS Code, which is a major evolution in the Eclipse, it's browser-based. It's using browsing technology. The extensions are easy to install, and the marketplace is amazing. It has thousands and thousands of extensions, and as a user, you can get access to all kinds of things. We in Broadcom, some 5 to 7 years ago, I don't remember exactly, started down a path of a couple things. One, we felt VS Code was the future for multi-language development, and we wanted to add Mainframe to that. We also thought certain things like COBOL language support should be open source and available freely for the use by whoever without having to get a license. And so we have built a number and continue to build a number of extensions. You talked about COBOL control flow. That's one. COBOL, PL1, assembler are additional things we've done. And we believe that an ecosystem that's for the developer to use tools is good. And we have other customers contributing to our extensions, because sometimes our extensions aren't specific enough to a particular customer's environment, and they extend it, or they even extend some of our extensions.
Well, and that's the key aspect of it, because it's the ecosystem with the community. And so, yeah, the customers are coming to us and saying, oh, I need such and such COBOL dialect. And I can actually contribute a little bit of it to get you started, or maybe just freely provide it, which is quite exciting. And I think it's a really strong community. And no doubt it's also in part because of kind of the outreach or the things that we make available in workshops, which you've also contributed quite a great deal to. What excites you about the workshops that we do?
Maybe to make this quick, my goal with workshops was for somebody to be able to walk in a room and within, I said 5 minutes, we've gotten it down to sub 1 minute, be able to experience the solution, not just the pieces, but the solution as a whole, how it solves a problem. Maybe I'll pick a quote. I was in a workshop some number of years ago, and a vice president of the bank was sitting in the room. I didn't know he was vice president of the bank. I thought it was just somebody sitting in the room.
Yep.
And at the end, he introduced me. He said, "Wow, now I know why my developers think this is cool." And I guess that kind of summarizes, made me very happy, because there was a lot of effort into not just the pieces, but that the pieces work together.
Yes.
I talked about COBOL, but COBOL being accessing copybooks from Endeavor is an example of the pieces working together.
Exactly. No, and I still enjoy every workshop that I help out with, because it's like, oh, this is just so slick how it all gets tied together. And there's going to be an opportunity to actually go hands-on with workshops and maybe even see some of what you mentioned in the application understanding experience at MTE not too long from now.
Front-ended with generative AI.
Front-ended with Gen AI.
Exactly, just like we just talked.
Exactly. So for those of you watching who are curious about going hands-on, April 21st to 23rd here in Prague in the Czech Republic, Mainframe Tech Exchange. And some of these exciting capabilities Dana shared with us today, you'll be able to go hands-on with. So Dana, thank you so much for joining us and talking through kind of IDE changes and then the exciting work that we're doing around application understanding to really fill out the Code4z experience.
Looking forward to MTE.
Super. Thank you.
Thank you.